Guys, it's working, bringing you a quick update on BitShares. I had a couple requests for BitShares, guys. I usually don't look at it, but I had a couple requests, and I'm actually glad I did. It's looking very interesting. We're looking at BitShares to the U.S. dollar on this is on the daily chart, and this is a very similar pattern to Bitcoin right now. We had 5 massive waves up. We've had this very deep correction, and it's been a very complex correction. We had a very clear ABC. Came up for the nice impulsive wave that ended up failing. It failed when it dropped below the beginning of this wave here, right back here. So that was a failed wave. So we denoted here by an ABC. So create another ABC pattern. And this ABC pattern, I believe, is starting to come to an end, guys. If we, well, let me go zoom back out again. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If we look back here, guys, we can see that the, all the major resist or support zones, price has gone through. This major support zone here at about 12 cents, price has just crashed through. There wasn't a lot of support below 12 cents until we reached this this demand zone, and this was a very strong demand zone here between about 8.3 cents, 7.3 cents, guys, and that's what we're starting to reach now. We haven't quite reached it yet, guys, but it's just starting to get down there. And I'm not saying it's going to, but if it does drop down into that zone, I would expect a very strong bounce somewhere around 7.5 cents. 7.5 cents, I'd expect a very strong bounce, guys. That would coincide nicely with this descending support line here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see price come down, test this descending support line, and then impulse right up out of there. We also know that this ascending support or ascending resistance line and descending support line form this larger wedge that I showed you guys earlier initially. And we know at the apex of a wedge, guys, it's very common for price to just break out at the apex. So I apologize, guys, if I'm talking a little slow tonight. I'm exhausted. I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I promised someone I'd do this. So anyway, guys, do I think price is going to just stop and impulse right up from here? Well, I can make a case for that if I zoom in. This is on the 30-minute chart, and we blow it up. Yeah, I can make a case for this. This looks like a clear double bottom, if that's in fact the case. It looks to me like we've got a clear 1-2 pattern going on right now. 1 and 2, and we're looking for the bottom of this 2. And then, of course, we'd be up for the 3. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. There we go. So if that's in fact the case, let's pull our fib and see where we've landed. If we go swing low, swing high. There we go. Swing low, swing high, guys. We can see it hit perfectly off the 50 fib. So that's very technical. Most wave twos, I think it's about 60% of wave twos. I think it is land between the 50 and the 618 fib level. So this would make perfect sense. This is very technical, also very rational percentage-wise, guys. So just by playing the odds, it tells me that we could have seen the bottom of wave 2 if this in fact is a wave 2 and doesn't crash any further. But let's play the game. Let's consider this to be a bullish perspective. If that's in fact the case, let's pull our fib extension and let's see what we got. If this is in fact a 1-2, we'd be coming up for the 3, and we know wave 3 oftentimes is the longest and the strongest and often gets up to a 1-6-1-8 fib. So if that is in fact the case, guys, what would we have? We'd have a 1-2 and a 3 that would look something like this. Then coming back down for the 4, and of course back up for the 5. But this 3 would be targeting somewhere around 12.3 cents. That'd be that's a hell of a profit. If that is in fact how it turns out. Now, am I going to play that? No, I'm not. I'm not seeing throughout the market. We know that BitShares is tied to Bitcoin, so if Bitcoin crashes, BitShares likely will too. We're seeing some weakening all around the market, guys. So I'm not going to play this. But if you did, I would have a very tight stop loss if you decided to play this. But I will play if it does end up coming down into, as I just pointed out, guys. Come back here to the daily. If price does end up coming out into that demand zone between 8.3 cents, 7.3 cents, 3 cents. If it does hit that demand zone, guys, then yes, I probably will enter a small long position in BitShares, because that is a very, very relevant price. And just looking back, like I said, guys, a very relevant demand zone. It almost looks like we're reaching rock bottom with our Elliott counts. We've got a very strong demand zone. I mean, this is just a setup for a nice impulse. We've reached the apex of this wedge. Very good setup for a possible impulse wave up in the next 2 weeks or so. It'd still take about 2 weeks to reach the apex, so the next 2 weeks or so. So what I would like to see ideally is to price to come back down one more time, test this demand zone, and then come impulsing right back up. If we have a slow climb back up, I'm going to be afraid that we're going to hit the descending resistance line, come back down, then hit the support, and then impulse back up. So I'd like to just get it over with, hit this demand zone, get those buy orders filled, and then impulse right back up. Is that going to happen? We'll have to wait and see, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, guys, I would appreciate an upvote or a resteam or a like, depending on where you're viewing this. And until next time, guys, please trade safe. This is Working, signing out.